This is News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4.
Right now, Madison police are investigating after finding a body in Lake Monona.
At about 1:30 Wednesday, officers responded to West Shore Drive near SSM Health St. Mary's Hospital. This is just off Park Street. Officers arrived to find a body in the water. Right now, they're conducting a death investigation. This is still a developing story. We'll provide updates as soon as we have more information.
And a Reedsburg teenager faces charges of making terrorist threats. Police arrested a 17-year-old on Wednesday after he allegedly made posts on social media threatening school safety. Police took the teenager to jail where he awaits charges. After the school district found out about the incident, they sent notifications to parents about it. Police and school officials are encouraging parents to talk to their kids about using social media responsibly.
Well, fall is somewhere, right, Alex? I couldn't find it today or yesterday.
I know I'm out here. Where is it? Where is fall? Well, it should be here, and we do have fall-like temperatures in the forecast. I'm trying to dress a little bit festive like fall to maybe entice it to come back to southern Wisconsin, but nothing fall-like outside right now. Look at our temperatures, too, over the course of the next 10 days. At least Friday all the way through Monday, temperatures are going to be summer-like, up near 80 degrees, where our normal high temperature is right around 70. Then a cold front comes through on Monday. First to let you know on that front. A little bit later, I'll let you know if there's any water with that front. Then we cool down with temperatures approaching where they should be for this time of year, in the middle to upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. It's gorgeous out here right now on the patio and in Madison, 78 degrees. Humidity is very low, so it's dry. It's very comfortable. Just a couple of fair weather cumulus clouds in the sky out there right now. Let's plan the weather tonight together. Those clouds, they go away, clearing back out again. Kind of seems like a broken record. We're repeating this and repeating this. We go down into the 60s and then into the 50s with overnight low temperatures right around 50 to 53 degrees. Can't rule out a little bit of that patchy fog as well. Fast forward, you may be wondering about Helene. Helene's impacts do look like they're still going to stay south of southern Wisconsin with temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80. But coming up in Maine weather, we're going to talk a lot more about Helene, and there will be some impacts. What impact that is, I'll let you know in just a bit.
Alex, thank you. Well, numbers and elections go hand in hand. We bring you polling data to provide a closer look at the election.
But how does polling even work? Our Ellie LaLiberte joins us now to break it all down.
To get headlines like these takes a lot of outreach and research. Charles Franklin is the director of the Marquette Law School poll, and he has some tips for what to look out for in polling data. He says polling data isn't always 100% accurate, mentioning partisan pollsters typically do swing more favorably towards their party's candidate. However, pollsters look very closely at the way they word their questions and how they weigh their data. This helps make sure that the data is as close of a representation to registered voters as it can be. He also says looking at multiple polls can be a good indication of overall sentiments.
Are they all pretty close to one another? Do they range quite a bit? Do they show one candidate leading but by different amounts, or do they show both candidates leading in one poll or another? I think that's the best way for interested people to just get an easy sense of how much the polls are varying.
According to 538, a polling ranking system, the Marquette Law School poll is the third best in the nation, but ranks #1 for transparency, defined by how much information is disclosed when the poll is released. Tonight at 5, I'll give you a more in-depth look at behind the scenes of what it takes to get polling data.
Ellie, thank you. The Marquette Law School poll is set to release its next survey on October 2nd. One topic it will look at is the race between Vice President Harris and former President Trump as the campaign enters the final month.
You can now get free COVID tests delivered to your home. The federal government is offering 4 kits per household. This is the 7th round of free tests Americans are getting. Since winter of 2021, the government sent more than 900 million tests to people around the country. The government says these tests will be good to use through the end of the year. They take about 30 minutes. To order a set of free at-home testing kits, go to covidtest.gov. People who order theirs will now get them starting through next week. Again, you can order those tests at covidtest.gov.
Now, despite being one of only 10 states that rejected Medicaid expansion in the 90s, Wisconsin has the 10th lowest uninsured rate in the country. That's in part thanks to programs like Badger Care, which the state created in 1999, and Badger Care Plus, which lawmakers approved in 2007. But now a nonpartisan group is looking at what would happen if the state chose to expand Medicaid. A new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum says full expansion would add 72 to 90,000 Wisconsinites to Medicaid. Expansion would tap more federal funding, saving about $1.7 billion for taxpayers over the course of 2 years. As for providers, they'd get lower reimbursement for treating Medicaid patients than they receive from Medicare or private insurance. The WPF says to move the state forward on Medicaid expansion, we need to see some bipartisan compromise.
State Superintendent Jill Underly is renewing her call for more investments in public schools. At the Capitol today, Underly emphasized the importance of making sure every student in the state feels like they belong. That message comes after a report from the Department of Public Instruction earlier this year found that only 54% of students either agree or strongly agree that they belong at their school. The report also found many students are struggling with their mental health, especially girls and LGBTQ+ students.
This is a crisis. Every child feeling like they belong in our public schools means every child, no exceptions. We know the best way to create positive mental health is to talk about it and do something about it. So to every child out there who is struggling and feels isolated, I want you to know you belong in Wisconsin's public schools.
Underly has announced she's running for re-election. You'll be able to vote in that race in April of next year.
Still ahead, Alex brings us an extended weather forecast whether Hurricane Helene will affect us.
Also, a historic indictment of New York City's mayor, what federal prosecutors accuse him of.
Fry Construction has done it again. For the 5th year, we've won the prestigious Best of Madison Award, and it's all thanks to you. To celebrate, we're offering 29% off our exclusive Absolute Gutter System with any full roof or siding project. Our gutters are custom fabricated on-site for a perfect, seamless fit that's engineered to excel. Don't just beautify your home, beautify it with the experts you trust. Call Fry Construction today and let us show you why we're the best of Madison.
This September, it's time to celebrate Portage Furniture's anniversary sale. For decades, we've been a staple of our downtown community, and we're proud of those roots. We've built a reputation for quality service and beautiful forever furniture, and you can save on all of the top brands: Smith Brothers, Flex Steel, Lazy Boy, Serta mattresses, and always free delivery. Shop local this September at Portage Furniture's anniversary sale. Don't you just love a good reason to celebrate?
As a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay? And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on investing right now in you, the American people. And we can chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
We're cranking up the voltage, Wisconsin. Lottery retailers all around the state are lighting up with the latest limited time offer. It's Badger 5, 5 will get you 6. During the month of September, players who buy a $5 or greater Badger 5 ticket will receive a bonus ticket for the next drawing of Badger 5. This electric offer is only available for a limited time and only at Wisconsin lottery retailers.
This shouldn't take too long, should it?
Oh no, I'll have the unit up and running in a jiffy. Oh, sorry, I have to go to the shop and get another part. Sorry, I don't have that part either. Sorry, I don't have that part either.
But you said it would be quick.
At Cardinal, we respect your time as much as you do. That's why our technicians come prepared with fully stocked trucks, ready to handle most issues in just one visit. Discover the difference. Call Cardinal.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Starting tomorrow, contract negotiations between Boeing and striking union members will continue. More than 30,000 workers walked off the job 2 weeks ago, and in turn, Boeing had to make temporary layoffs and halt some of its production. This week, the company raised its offer from 25% to 30% over 4 years, plus bonuses. But the union says that's not good enough.
Southwest Airlines' open seating is staying put for one more year. The airline says you'll be able to book a reserved seat in late 2025 for flights in early 2026. Earlier this year, Southwest announced it would step away from the open seating model. It's had that model in place since the airline was founded. The airline also says it will offer premium seating for the first time. Southwest says it hopes the change will help the company, which has been struggling since 2020.
Right now, Florida is preparing for Hurricane Helene to make landfall. The storm has rapidly intensified over the past day to become a Category 3 major hurricane. These images are from Florida before the hurricane even made landfall. The National Weather Service is warning of, quote, unsurvivable levels of water rises.
Well, let's get a live look now at Naples. The storm is bringing winds of about 170 miles per hour. First One meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us now. Alex, what kind of damage and effects are we expecting? And does the storm threaten us with any kind of severe weather?
It can in various ways. Surprisingly, some folks are thinking, well, that's Florida and we're way up here in Wisconsin. One impact that we can see when we have hurricanes in the Gulf and in the Atlantic is a weather pattern that's the same from day to day to day, because these hurricanes kind of clog up the weather systems and they can't move east. So they back up the weather systems. That's one impact. Another impact, too, that we're going to talk about here in just a moment. Travel. You may have travel, you may have family in the southeastern portions of the United States or elsewhere in the United States, and hurricanes, of course, can cause very significant travel concerns and issues. Here's Helene right now. We can track it with Radar 3000. This is about 100 miles west of Tampa is the eye circulation right now. Right here is what we call the eye wall. Over open warm waters, that's going to allow Helene to continue to intensify. There's a possibility it could land as a Category 4 storm. And then on the outer bands, here we call these feeder bands, hurricanes can actually be prolific tornado producers as well. Here's the travel effects as we go Friday towards midnight. Atlanta, north of Jacksonville, just north of where Helene likely is going to make landfall. In the panhandle of Florida, we're going to be looking at extreme travel delays over a good portion of the southeastern portion of the United States that lasts to 6 a.m. Friday morning. We'll carry forth through Friday here, 6 p.m. as the effects of Helene move inland. Greatest travel impacts. This will be airports, roads as well. Will be areas over portions of the mid-Mississippi River Valley and the Ohio River Valley. Eventually, as the effects of Helene weaken, we'll see those travel impacts start to improve as we go later into the weekend. Our weather, I mentioned, the hurricanes in the Gulf and the Atlantic can back up our weather systems, meaning we have the same weather from day to day to day. We've kind of had the same weather day to day to day. Warm temperatures all the way through this evening. I'll be here for the 6 o'clock newscast, and then Jacob will be here for the 10 o'clock newscast, giving you the latest on Helene's impacts on Florida and also those travel impacts as well. Our travel is going to be fine and dandy. Temperatures upper 70s, right around 80 degrees for Friday. That's 10 degrees above normal. I would do 10, but I've got a clicker in my hand here. But this is warm temperatures for this time of year. Helene will make its way to the north and west, bringing a couple clouds to southern Wisconsin. And I mentioned there would be one impact from Helene that maybe you might miss, but I'm going to let you know about it right now. Let's put this into motion here. Clouds and maybe an isolated shower, Walworth County over towards Kenosha. But the one impact that we'll all get, northeasterly breezes will be a little bit on the breezy side Saturday going into Sunday from the northeast. So think of those winds if you're outside over the weekend. And it'll be a nice weekend. Those winds are the effects of Hurricane Helene trying to make it this far to the northwest. But overall, staying dry throughout the entirety of the weekend. Rain chances very low. Even that cold front Monday going into Tuesday, where the temperatures go from near 80 back into the 60s. And that's normal for this time of year. That cold front looks to be dry as well. Not seeing any big rains anytime soon in southern Wisconsin.
More pregnant women should get screened for iron deficiency. A new study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition finds more than 80% of pregnant women are deficient in the nutrient by their third trimester. That's even if they are in good health and access to resources. Of the more than 600 women involved in the study, not one was anemic in their first trimester. To get screened for iron deficiency, talk to your doctor.
The United States Postal Service says it will raise stamp prices 5 times over the next 3 years. First-class postage is currently 73 cents. USPS says stamps will remain at that price until July of 2025, when the first hike goes into effect. The increases will repeat each January and July thereafter until the end of 2027. USPS has not said how much the hikes will cost.
New York Mayor Eric Adams will be arraigned tomorrow. It comes after federal prosecutors unsealed an indictment against him this morning. They say Adams accepted more than $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from Turkish officials in exchange for favors. This is just one of at least 4 federal investigations into Adams or his inner circle. This marks the first time in history prosecutors indicted a sitting mayor of New York. Adams says he will remain in office while fighting the charges.
And a defamation trial regarding lies about the 2020 election will not go forward. The case between voting technology company Smartmatic and right-wing cable network Newsmax is settled. It revolves around claims that Smartmatic and other voting tech companies rigged the election in favor of Joe Biden. Smartmatic says the lies repeated on Newsmax ruined its reputation. Newsmax denied wrongdoing. Today's deal came hours after jury selection began. The opening statements are scheduled for next Monday.
Lawyers for Trump are seeking to overturn a judgment declaring the former president guilty of fraud. Earlier today, a New York appeals court grilled Trump's lawyers and the New York City Attorney General's office about the judgment. The 5-justice panel raised questions about the scope of the Attorney General's authority, the lack of alleged victims in the conduct, and the size of the penalty, which is $454 million. A decision in this case likely won't come before the election, and lawyers will still be able to appeal whatever decision this court makes to the state's highest appellate court.
We're learning more about the assassination attempt made on Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania in July. A bipartisan panel has spent the last 2 months analyzing security failures that allowed a man to shoot Trump from a rooftop. The Secret Service relied on support from local law enforcement to secure the event, but after dozens of interviews with law enforcement, lawmakers are placing the blame on the Secret Service, citing failures that began the moment Trump took the stage.
We knew there was a suspicious person out there, and this, I think once you listen to this today, you're going to find out, why in the world would you let former President Trump go out onto that platform if you weren't sure it was secure? That's the whole purpose of why the Secret Service was there.
The panel's also investigating the second assassination attempt on Trump. Earlier this week, prosecutors charged the suspect in that case with attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate, in addition to 2 gun-related offenses.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is in Washington asking for help from the Biden administration and Congress, but some are accusing Zelenskyy of meddling in the upcoming presidential election. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met with President Biden at the White House to sell his plan to win the war against Russia.
I raised with President Biden the plan of victory. Today we are preparing to discuss the details to strengthen the plan.
President Biden, in his final months in office, is promising to surge security assistance to Ukraine.
Today I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of security assistance.
Mr. President, can you read into his wall?
Of course we have to.
On Capitol Hill, senators who met with Zelenskyy indicated one of his top requests was to be able to strike targets inside Russia.
President Zelenskyy says he wants to end this war through negotiations. The only way you're going to get Russia to the table is hit them harder than we're hitting them today.
As Republicans remain divided over additional security assistance to Ukraine, former President Trump has not met with President Zelenskyy during this latest trip to the U.S.
The president of Ukraine is in our country, and he's making little nasty aspersions toward your favorite president, me.
Trump allies in the U.S. House say they will launch an investigation into Zelenskyy's visit to an ammunition facility in Scranton, Pennsylvania, with 3 of the state's Democrats, accusing Zelenskyy of campaigning in a key battleground state.
I think it was wildly inappropriate what happened, and we cannot have foreign nations interfering in our elections, and I think that's what it amounted to.
Following the visit, the House Speaker called on Zelenskyy to fire Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Johnson was the only congressional leader who did not meet with Zelenskyy Thursday. Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's been a staunch supporter of aid to Ukraine, was on hand for Zelenskyy's Capitol visit.
Well, coming up on Live at 4, we're taking a look at the weekend ahead.
Josh Breider shows us the 3 things to do with your family in the 608.
Welcome to Dwellings, Madison's best kept secret for beautiful furniture, sofas, chairs, and recliners, sectionals, and fun accessories. Shop our Fitchburg showroom today.
Act fast! Revamp Fence is running its 60-60-60 sale. Get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60 months no interest financing or 60% off installation. A lifetime warranty is included. Go online or call us for your free quote today.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Meet Edwin Ramos. This illegal immigrant murdered 3 Americans. An MS-13 gang member, Ramos was arrested for a gun crime, but as DA, Kamala didn't prosecute him. Months later, Ramos murdered a man and his 2 sons in cold blood.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale, so when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years, highest gas prices ever, skyrocketing interest rates, unaffordable housing, incomes down, unemployment rising, and a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Add comfort to your living space with carpet from our key industries. Stargazer carpet is soft and luxurious, making it perfect for your home. Plus, it has a touch pad for easy installation. Only $129 per square foot after rebate. Organize your home with Closet Made. We carry everything you need to maximize your space in closets, pantries, laundry rooms, and more. This Closet Made closet kit is $168.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
3 years ago, I had an abortion of a desperately wanted and loved baby. Joan Ballwig wants to ban all abortion, with no exceptions. Not for rape or incest, not to save the mother's life. I know what it's like when women have to make these heartbreaking decisions. The very last person who should have anything to do with it is a politician like Joan Ballwig.
Back in 2015, we featured a story right here on News 3 Now about a Stoughton man named Greg Standard. He built a one-of-a-kind prosthetic ice skate for an amputee. Sadly, Greg passed away in 2021 after suffering a cardiac event. But thanks to his family, we're able to show you his legacy is living on. Greg's siblings are holding an event this weekend in his honor. Greg's Legacy Poker Run will raise money for the Stoughton Food Pantry and a park that community members recently named after him.
Miss him. We're devastated by his loss. This just makes it a little easier, and we're just honored.
The event is this Saturday and starts at Albion Park. You can register on Facebook at Greg's Legacy Poker Run 2024. Greg's family says they plan to host more events in his honor in the future.
People using Atwood Avenue will see some new artwork on their walls. The city of Madison has installed several designs on the paths near Old Brick Park. The medallion designs encourage people to be safe and courteous to each other on the paths.
We hope that people kind of enjoy these and take those moments when they're on that path to kind of, take time for each other, take time for themselves, enjoy our wonderful multi-use path system across the city. We're so proud of it.
Oh, those are really cool. You'll see 12 up and down the street on each side. There'll be more designs coming to other cats within the next few weeks.
Those are really cool. Well, it is Thursday, which means we are working for the weekend in the 608 this afternoon.
Josh Sprider is here with your weekend planner.
Well, it is almost the weekend, but now is the time to prepare. I have 3 things for you to do with your family this weekend, so let's get right to it. First up, New Glarus is gearing up to host one of the premier Oktoberfests in the region. The weekend celebration starting today brings in people from all over. When people think of Oktoberfest, they think beer, and while there will be plenty of beer in New Glarus this weekend, the 4-day event is set to feature so much more. Family-friendly activities will take place Saturday and Sunday, including children's crafts, cheese tasting, horse-drawn wagon rides, a chainsaw carving exhibition, and a petting zoo. Happening Saturday back in Madison, it is time to get cheesy with the Cheese Fair off the square. This is happening on MLK Boulevard, of course, right alongside the Dane County Farmers Market. You can sample, purchase, and meet the makers of award-winning Wisconsin cheese, or grab a bite to eat at one of the Wisconsin cheese food trucks, or get some Wisconsin cheese ice cream. That sounds interesting. That event runs from 8 to 1 on Saturday and is free for cheese lovers of all ages. And last but not least, the early days of McFarland will be held at the McFarland Museum this weekend. This is happening Saturday from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. The event is in conjunction with the McFarland Community Festival. I'll be live in McFarland tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning at 6 a.m. with a sneak preview of what you can expect there. Remember, we are your home for what's happening in the 608. Just go to our section of channel3000.com. You can also click on that community calendar in partnership with Madison Magazine. In the 608, I'm Josh Sprider, News 3 Now.
Wisconsin cheese-flavored ice cream, that's a choice.
I like cheese and I like ice cream, but no, there's no way.
I think there's a such thing as too much dairy.
I think so too, but.
All right, well, maybe Josh can tell us about it tomorrow. Thanks, Josh. And quick reminder, you have until the end of next week to donate to our Coats for Kids drive.
We're partnering with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, Clinky Cleaners, and Magic 98 for the 39th annual Coats for Kids drive. Through Saturday, October 5th, you can drop off new or gently used winter coats at any area Clinky Cleaners. For more information, you can visit channel3000.com.
And in our next half hour, a deeper dive into UW-Madison's waning diversity numbers.
Plus, how one local writer is trying to inspire others who are disabled. Tanisha Shaw shares her story when we come back.
We all share the same roads, but when an accident happens, we don't always share the same consequences. Gruber Law Offices has been winning for people injured in truck accidents for more than 35 years. One call, that's all.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Champion's Big Window Sale is back.
Do you have ugly, hard-to-open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy 2, you get 2 free. Buy 2 Champion windows, get 2 free? I guess that means if you buy 4, you get 4 free. Buy 6, get 6 free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Democrats say everything's great, but when you're on a fixed income struggling to pay for gas, groceries, or medicine, it doesn't feel great.
Biden-Harris created this mess.
And Tammy Baldwin's been right there with them.
25 years in Washington. What's she done?
Raised taxes.
Added trillions in new debt.
And gave stimulus checks to illegals.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
I'd like a stimulus check.
I'd like you to take out the trash.
Every spring, the love of my life came here to paint. Cress helped us make sure she's never forgotten.
We are Cress. We truly believe your memories matter.
When a truck accident happens, the results can be catastrophic. Our dedicated and proven team is here to help, and there's never a fee until we win. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now live at 4, moving forward.
Well, this is a lovely view there at the lake. They're having a lot of fun out there, and it's probably a good day for it because it felt like summer. I don't know where fall is, Alex. Could you find it out there?
No luck.
Oh, we couldn't find out.
I'm looking for it out here. I don't see it. I guess Summer was turning my microphone off here, but now that I'm back on here, I have found fall. It is in the forecast. We're going to talk about that in the next main weather, but nothing like fall right now. Look at our temperature trend over the course of the past 24 hours. 24 hours ago, mid-70s, went down to about 50, had a little fog, back up to the mid to upper 70s. It's this broken record forecast of this continuation of very mild temperatures for this time of year. Let's plan the evening. 78 right now. We'll be down to 70 at 7 o'clock. I plan to get a walk in after the 6 o'clock newscast. A beautiful night for that. Jacob will be here during the 10 o'clock newscast a little bit later, where we're still seeing temperatures right around 60 degrees. Normal highs are around 70. Normal lows are in the upper 40s this time of year. Nothing like that. We'll do low 50s tonight. Could still see a little bit of patchy fog out there to start off Friday morning. And Friday morning, after lows in the upper 40s, lower to middle 50s, will be a nice mid to upper 70s as we carry forth through Friday. Now, after Friday, we need to talk about the effects of Helene. We were talking earlier in our first part of our 4 o'clock newscast about where Helene is. I want to talk a little bit more about the impacts that southern Wisconsin could see. That next chance of rain in the form of a cold front, will it be a lot? I've got the answer momentarily.
All right, Alex, thank you. And UW-Madison's class of 2028 is seeing a lower percentage of students of color. It comes after the 2023 Supreme Court decision severely limited the use of affirmative action in college admissions.
Our Meryl Hubbard is here to break down the numbers. Meryl.
Yeah, Maddie and Armand, this year's freshman class has a lower percentage of Black, Indigenous, and Latino students compared to last year's. This is disproportionate to the overall increase of the class size, as the class of 2028 is UW-Madison's second largest to date. We're going to take a look and compare the university's 2023 demographics to 2024. There are a total of 8,516 students enrolled in this year's freshman class. That's exactly 550 more students compared to last year's incoming class. The percentage of Black students dropped by a third of its population, now making up 2.1% of the freshman class. The amount of Indigenous students went from 22 to 13 students this year, and that's a 40% decrease. The percentage of Latino students dropped by about 1.5%, and the Asian students dropped by about 0.2% from 2023 to 2024. I spoke with current UW-Madison students to get their reaction on these numbers.
Wow, that's actually really surprising. Honestly, I don't have like much to comment on that. I didn't know that it was decreasing. If anything, I thought it would be increasing.
I just think it's a little bit discouraging almost to see this like a difference in minority populations.
In a response from the university, Chancellor Jennifer Mnookin said, quote, "Though declines are disappointing, I want to be clear that our commitment to these students and their communities remains steadfast." So we also have seen similar reports in universities across the country, but since the Supreme Court ruling was only about a year ago, it will take more time to see the full impact.
Thank you, Meryl. And we saw the percentage of students of color decrease. What about the rate of white students?
So we actually saw the percentage of white students in this freshman class increase from 58% to 60.4%. And in the years leading up to 2024, the total percentage of students of color was increasing incrementally, and the total percentage of white students was decreasing. And now in 2024, it's the first time we're seeing the inverse of this.
Interesting. And is there any other big takeaways we should be looking for in this data?
Yeah, certainly. We're also seeing less prospective students include their race in their UW-Madison applications. The percentage of students who did not include their race increased from 3.2% to 4.2% over the last year.
Meryl, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And here's a look at the U.S. stock market after it closed. Stocks rose to another all-time high today. The Dow up 260, the S&P 500 up 23, and the NASDAQ up 108.
A Madison native published a book last year about her journey with spina bifida.
Tanasia Shaw sat down with the author on her success. Tanasia?
Yes, Mitra Nahavandi published the book From Disability to Disability in 2023. She told me she hopes it inspires everyone. She started writing the book in 2020 during the pandemic. This is the first time Nahavandi said she felt alone and discouraged about her disability. Now, she's hoping those emotions can encourage anyone going through a similar situation.
But during that pandemic and being alone, I really became in a rut of I'm disabled, I can't do anything for myself. And because in my book, while it is about my journey with spina bifida, I talk about travel, I talk about relationships, I talk about bullying and what I dealt with and how I overcame that. So it can help anybody, honestly. It's not necessarily specific to people with disabilities, but anybody could get a message from this.
Yes, truly such an inspiring story. We're going to continue this conversation on her birth defect and all the places where her book has traveled. Reporting in studio, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanasia, thank you. Coming up, a look at what's new on streaming services this weekend.
Will Loper gives us the rundown next on Live at 4.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
There are over 21,000 Wisconsin veterans struggling to pay for rent and utilities.
Thank you for your service.
Many are also facing issues with their mental health.
Thank you for your service.
We must do more to help these heroes who have already sacrificed so much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Words simply aren't enough.
I'm sorry.
Make a difference by donating to this critical Wisconsin survival safety net today.
Come celebrate the season with Baraboo Furniture and Mattresses store-wide fall kickoff sale. Every department is on sale. Living room, bedroom, dining room, mattresses, Amish, and much more. All with the lowest prices. Over $1 million of name brand furniture to choose from in our beautiful showroom, including over 60 recliners. Free financing, all credit welcome. Hurry in today to the huge store-wide fall kickoff sale at Baraboo Furniture and Mattress, where your satisfaction is our guarantee.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor. And the potential to take you anywhere.
Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or get $5,750 total value on this Silverado.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
New at 5, we're taking you behind the scenes of how polling works, plus expert tips on what to watch out for when reading the latest election polling.
Our temperatures the past couple of weeks have been on a roller coaster ride, and that ride will continue. Coming up at 5, I'll let you know when 60-degree weather returns and the latest on heat impacts.
And ahead at 6, UW-Madison's percentage of white students is rising for the first time in years. We take a closer look at how a new Supreme Court decision is reshaping campus diversity. That's tonight at 6.
We're back and looking ahead to what's new on streaming services this weekend.
Will Loper's here with his recommendations in the Loper Report.
This is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind. Make some noise! Sadness is in the house!
Get emotional with Inside Out 2, newly streaming on Disney+.
I'm Anxiety. I am just such a huge fan of yours. Or Riley's new emotions. Wow!
Remember when we all finally came up to headquarters?
Nostalgia.
That was like 30 seconds ago, nostalgia. Yeah, those were the days.
The Pixar sequel picks back up with Riley and the emotions inside her head, which now include new emotions like embarrassment and anxiety.
Come on! Riley needs us. Have I ever steered you wrong before?
Many times.
Hey, Mom. I'm sorry for leaving like that. It's not you. I'm not running away. I feel like I'm running towards something.
Get in touch with nature in Penelope, streaming on Netflix.
I need to take things out before I can put them back in.
The 16-year-old girl attempts to build a new life in the wilderness.
So, this is how it happens.
I didn't know people like you really existed.
They don't. There's nobody can do what I do.
And see Brad Pitt and George Clooney do their thing in Wolves, newly streaming on Apple TV+.
Who are you?
I'm here to take care of your problem. Who called you?
The two play a pair of fixers covering up a crime who find themselves unexpectedly working together.
How long have you been partners? You got like the same clothes, kind of talk the same, so like basically the same guy.
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
We're not partners.
All right, what emotion are you from Inside Out?
Ooh, I think I'd like to think I'm Joy.
I think you're Joy too. Your yellow tie.
Thank you.
Your bright personality.
Oh, there we go. What do you think emotion you are?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to define yourself in one emotion. Let's move on.
Well, that's the point of the movie, isn't it? Well, anyways, go right ahead.
Just after the break, we go behind the wheel of the 2024 Subaru WRX.
Brady and Harvey Briggs show us the ins and outs of Subaru's four-door all-wheel drive sports car when Live at 4 returns.
After a beautiful drive through the hills of southwest Wisconsin, we have arrived at Oakwood Fruit Farm. I can smell the donuts from here. This is a true fall gem. Judy, a fifth-generation fruit farm that couldn't be run more in an organized fashion. I absolutely love this place. All right, now this is truly a local gem out here in southwest Wisconsin, and now I see why. Just tell us all the fabulous things that are in this store.
We have a lot of products to offer. A lot of them we try to stay local within Wisconsin. We make our own caramel apples. We have our own bakery in-house, so we are making apple cider donuts on a daily basis.
And those are really the store's pride and joy.
Very much so. They are very popular and very delicious, and a lot of people will just come to buy donuts and maybe not even walk out with apples.
The apple cider donut. It's a truly perfect masterpiece, and it's warm.
Oh. We grow all of our apples here that are sold, and throughout the season, we have about 20 different varieties of apples. The most popular one is the Honeycrisp. Customers are looking for that as soon as we open our store.
Greg, how perfect is southwest Wisconsin and the topography really for your apple crop?
It's a great area for growing apples. Yeah, it's a very nice area to grow a family and grow apples.
Greg, a big cheers to you from Oakwood Fruit Farm.
We're buzzed into Madison.
Oh, you got it. All right.
All right.
Good work.
Excellent.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years. Highest gas prices ever, skyrocketing interest rates, unaffordable housing, incomes down, unemployment rising, and a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's Blue Ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and pass the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again is to do what banana bread does and bring everyone to the table.
Well, if you think you know a Subaru, think again.
Ooh, mysterious. Brady going behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs to show us why this WRX is for the serious drivers.
This is a Subaru WRX, which is kind of not like any other Subaru most people see. You know, it's sedan, right? While everyone's going to SUVs and wagons now, it is low, it is wide, also, you know, very sporty, which most people don't associate with Subarus, right?
No, not at all. This is not a grocery store Wagoneer. This is a little bit of a BMW race car looking thing.
Kind of, yeah. It competes with that sort of performance sedan. It's small, it's light, it's nimble, it has enough horsepower to be enjoyable, and it also has a suspension that's really built for driving. And you can tell it's different from any other Subaru because you have this hood scoop here, of course, to give it that sporty look and feel. The other thing that's really interesting is these front seats. These are Recaro Performance front seats, and you'll notice a couple of things. First of all, you have this suede insert, and that really helps hold you in place as you're driving and cornering. The other thing you'll see is this sort of Y shape. They have done some research and found out that to keep you really comfortable, it's all about keeping the shoulders in the right place, and it helps minimize head movements, which minimizes driver fatigue. They want the owner of this car to drive it in a spirited manner, and that helps keep you in place. So this is a 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine. In Subaru, they have a unique engine configuration where most people, it's an inline four-cylinder engine. This is a horizontally opposed boxer engine. So the cylinders are actually way down low. So that helps create a lower center of gravity, which helps the handling.
And who would be driving this?
This is really designed for somebody who enjoys getting behind the wheel of a car, finding a winding road, and you know, just making the time behind the wheel part of their enjoyment.
What is the CD player like? Because I have a little Reba, I've got Dolly Parton's rock album, the Chicks, so I'm ready. I can put anything in.
Those are all awesome choices. However, they have to be on your phone if you want to play them, because there are no CD players in this car and most cars these days. So you're going to have to get with the program.
Okay.
This is really designed for people who love to drive. You know, WRX was developed from their World Rally program cars. So it's really designed as a high-performance car. It has all-wheel drive. This model, the TR, you can only get with a manual transmission.
Oh, okay.
Which, you know, if you want that higher performance version of the WRX, you gotta know how to drive a stick. So it's low to the ground, and as you can tell, the suspension is very stiff on this right now. It's especially in this TR model, it the springs have been stiffened significantly to make it a better handling car, and that obviously impacts day-to-day comfort. So if you're looking for a comfortable family sedan, this ain't
probably not it.
No.
And Harvey's with us now in studio.
Happy to be here.
And yeah, tell me, first off, I was wondering, why do they call it WRX and Subaru has Impreza and Crosstrek and all this?
Right, well, WRX stands for World Rally Championship. And that's because this car was developed to compete in that that type of racing series. So it's off-road, so you need the all-wheel drive. It's a really cool race series. You should look it up sometime. And the Subarus are legendary for their performance and championships in that type of racing.
So WRX stands for hardcore, is what you're trying to say.
Essentially, yes. And it's the kind of car that people who love to drive love. So, you know, it's that. The Civic Type R is another car in that category. Volkswagen GTI or Golf are also similar competition in this space. They're the cars that are just small and light and nimble and super fun to drive.
And you were showing Brady the shape of the seats, that less head movement. Is it a safer drive?
Not so much safer. It's just meant to hold you in place. So when you're really digging into a corner, you're right there and have control of the steering wheel and all that stuff.
I hope Brady hung on to his CDs there when he took those corners.
We were very gentle with that. So if we had a track, maybe we would have had a little more fun with it.
Oh boy. So, in the future, Harvey.
We could do that.
Thanks so much for joining us again.
My pleasure.
Alex, would you take that car out for a spin?
Let's get rocking and rolling. It's a nice night to take a drive outside with no rain across southern Wisconsin right now, sunny conditions. Was there a top in that vehicle? Could I take the top and let the sun in?
No, it was not a convertible.
Okay, there wasn't a top in it, but that's still okay. A beautiful evening for a drive across southern Wisconsin and a gorgeous weekend, really. The effects of Helene likely going to stay to the south of the area. Cool weather, though, I promise you. Fall-like temperatures are on the way to southern Wisconsin. All eyes are on the southeastern portion of the United States. If you have traveled to the southeast, if you have family in Florida, major Hurricane Helene right now with winds at 125 miles per hour, gusting all the way up to 155 miles per hour. Significant increase will make landfall in the Panhandle as we go into this evening, and then moving off towards the north and towards the west, and just meandering over the mid-Mississippi and lower Ohio River Valley, really not making a big impact to southern Wisconsin. Tonight, beautiful stuff. 70s down into the 60s. The skies will clear out. Now, you'd think with the rain that we had over the weekend that our drought would have improved somewhat over southern Wisconsin. Fortunately, not really. According to our friends at the Drought Monitor, still a lot of abnormal dry conditions across southern Wisconsin and pockets of moderate drought. And we're not going to add a lot of water, unfortunately, with Helene's effects staying well off towards the south and the east. I mentioned what we will see are the northeasterly breezes on the north side of Helene and a couple passing clouds, maybe a sprinkle over towards Milwaukee, but I think the vast majority of southern Wisconsin will stay dry. And as we go into Monday, watch this. Winds out of the south, and later Monday night, a cold front comes through. I said earlier, would we have water with it? Unfortunately, not. It's going to come through very likely as a dry cold front. We'll do upper 60s by the time we get to Tuesday, going into Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and you may be thinking, ooh, that's going to be kind of chilly. It will feel relatively cool compared to these near 80-degree weather that we've had, but those are temperatures that are normal for this time of year. We'll be right back.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Shop from the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. All with Bergstrom's negotiation-free upfront pricing, including our exclusive 7-day price protection and money-back guarantees. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromChevrolet.com.
Brian Stiles said he's proud of his extreme record. So why is he lying about it?
Stiles said he was proud to be part of a group pushing to gut Social Security and Medicare, that he proudly supports abortion bans. And Brian Stiles said he's proud to be backed by extremists pushing a total ban nationwide. Peter Barca's backed by police, firefighters, and unions because Peter puts Wisconsin first, no matter the party, and that's something to be proud of.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
3 years ago, I had an abortion of a desperately wanted and loved baby. Joan Ballwig wants to ban all abortion, with no exceptions. Not for rape or incest, not to save the mother's life. I know what it's like when women have to make these heartbreaking decisions. The very last person who should have anything to do with it is a politician like Joan Ballwig.
Take a look at this. A new marine research study found that octopi often work together with fish to hunt as a unit and sometimes punch the fish that aren't doing their jobs.
Sound familiar, Maddie?
What? We have Eric Franke laughing in the back now.
You get a little pushy sometimes.
Oh, well,
we don't listen.
People have to carry their weight.
I guess so, just like this fish. I mean, this octopus, the fish would act as scouts, and they'd direct the octopus around to areas, and he would punch them if they're not doing their jobs.
All right, you didn't have to call me out like that. Maybe you should start carrying your weight.
Yeah. Ow, Maddie, stop punching me.
Stop me.
All right, we'll be right back.
Whatever.
My husband and I are going through IVF treatments now. It could be our only chance to have a family. But Donald Trump's plan could ban IVF in some states. My husband is in the military. He volunteered to serve. We are patriots and we go where he is assigned. What if we end up in a state where IVF is no longer legal? What will we do then?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon-Pause. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon-Pause. It's good medicine.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale, so when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is